And if somebody is living by a stream and eating well and taking magnesium and taking great supplements, they're still missing the signaling component. And that's why I'm passionate about redox. Redox is not a nutritional element. It's not a lipid. It's not a mineral, a vitamin. It's not an antioxidant. It is the
Welcome, Christina. Thank you for taking the invitation, and it's really exciting to have you on our channel to talk about Asea and redox signaling. So give us some story. Tell us about it.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. It's a real pleasure. And I love speaking about redox signaling. So this is exciting. Why I love talking about it is because most people don't know about it yet. It really is a new, very exciting field of health. I think we have to be open to the fact that the health industry is not a static industry. There are a lot of advancements. There's a lot of new things coming. There's a lot of progression. Thank goodness, because it is an industry that is facing crisis. And as a population, unfortunately we're seeing people get sicker, and we're seeing a rise in cancers and cardiovascular disease and autoimmune conditions. So the medical community is constantly pushing. And this was a discovery that was made in 1998, actually. We knew about redox molecules. They're in the textbooks before then. But 1998 was landmark because it's when a group of researchers identified that these molecules are specifically designed by the body to trigger key reactions involved with protection, regeneration. So our bodies, from the day we're born to the day we die, we're in this constant maintenance. I mean, we don't even know it. We think this body is static, but it's not. It's doing all this incredible repair, and we don't even realize what's happening. But now we know, and they gave these guys a Nobel Prize for identifying that it is this communication system that keeps us healthy.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So what drew you into redox and Asea? You know, like, how did you get there? Tell us your backstory a little bit.
Well, I'm a nerd from way back. When I was in high school, I was actually for fun going to university lectures in biology for fun. I love science, and I studied science, and I went on to look at health and physiotherapy, but I never practiced in the industry. Just one of those things. Life took me in a different direction. But fast forward many years later, and a good friend of mine was diagnosed with very aggressive cancer. And he was just somebody who was all over his health, clean eater, non-smoker, non-drinker, tons of supplements. So it was quite confronting to see how sick and how quickly his health changed. And I looked in the mirror and wanted to find a solution, help him find a solution, but also I was looking out for myself and my family, because if he could get sick, anybody can get sick. And Danny received a phone call from a friend of us in the United States, and he said, "Have you looked into redox signaling?" And that was the Pandora's box. I was straight on it. I was incredibly excited to find what I found. Over 19,000 studies on the web explaining how vital these molecules were. And I thought it was a great conspiracy that we didn't all know about them already.
Wow. Yeah, well, I'm similar to yourself. I class myself as a nerd and a researcher. I get into a lot of different things and want to know how things work. And I guess that's what attracted me into dealing with the product. I was actually introduced to Asea through a product called Renew 28.
Oh, yeah.
I just couldn't believe it actually worked, and that was the exciting part for me. I thought, hey, this stuff really works. So
Yeah.
that's what drew me in further to find out more about health. I've been involved with all the different various practitioners for exercise physiology, physiotherapists, myotherapists. I've been to them all because I'm keen to extend my life and live well at my age. So, can you tell us in general terms, for someone who's never heard of it before, what redox signaling actually is? So that we get a grasp on what it is and why I'm so excited and invited you onto the show.
So, in very simple terms, it's the Wi-Fi of our body. It's like the Wi-Fi system in our body. So, redox signaling molecules are made inside each cell. They're made from water and salt. This is why we are 80% saline, is what our bodies are made of. And our body, each cell takes water and salt. And from those 4 building blocks, because water and salt is just 4 atoms, from those 4 building blocks, 16 or so different new molecules are made. And they are in 2 categories. They are reductants and they are oxidants. And without getting too sciencey, they are positive and they are negative molecules, and they're ready to go. What that means is that they're the triggers behind the chemical reactions keeping us alive. So you're relying on all these reactions to happen in your body in order for your cells to heal, to activate genes, to trigger antioxidants, to destroy dangerous cells. Those are just chemical reactions taking place. And this group of molecules is what makes those reactions begin. So these molecules, the word redox comes from reductants and oxidants. We're finding out a lot more about them. The sad thing is that our levels decline. As you know, Freddie, these levels are declining. And so we have a crisis. Even people who say they're healthy, they're all struck by the same condition, which is the aging, degenerative process. And if we want to do something about it, there is now a way.
Yeah, well, just straight from things like muscle density in mature age people, a lot of people don't realize that it's connected to ATP, which is a growth hormone, and that's exacerbated or helped, through testosterone, and the testosterone levels start dying off after the age of 30. So, things like pomegranate juice can help in that area. But what I found with the whole cellular thing, it becomes to oxidization. That's the real issue with cells, because they did a test, I think it was Harvard, I'm not sure, where they had some chicken cells in a bell jar and they were feeding it proper nutrients and oxygen, and those cells lasted 20 years. They abandoned the experiment and they concluded that cells given proper nutrition and oxygen can last for a very long time, perhaps even indefinitely. But because of lifestyle, toxicity in the air, toxicity in the water supply and the food supply, just our stress levels, which push us out of whack, we've got a real challenge. And aging comes upon people a lot sooner than they expect. And if they don't have a health strategy, and like your friend, I do all those things, and I find even that is not enough. It's like you're fighting gravity. So when I found out about your product, that's why I got involved. And who actually? Sorry.
I was going to say it's a shield, Freddie, that maybe we didn't need 100 years ago. People ask me, well, I just want to be all natural, and I don't want to supplement, and I don't want to take anything into my body. And I remind them that we're not taking anything into the body. It's that our body has lost things it's supposed to have. That 100 years ago, if we were all living by a stream, growing our vegetables, breathing the fresh mountain air, we wouldn't need to supplement. But that's not the reality. We are living in a toxic storm. And if people are in denial about that, they'll become a statistic. Our health is our responsibility. It's not the government's, it's not the supermarket, it's not the doctors. And you've really got 2 choices. You put yourself in the freeway, you're probably going to get hit. And speaking toxicity, it's a freeway. Or you choose to walk a different path and take a safer road. And that is what redox is. It's giving your body something we know for sure it needs.
Yeah, well, another simple supplement, people are finding that generally mature age people do need to take magnesium because we're magnesium deficient. They say it's in the food supply is the problem, but what the problem is, it's the lifestyle. I mean, we are homogenized. We go to Woolworths or Safeways or whatever the local grocery is, and it's all there packed on the shelf and put in plastic bags. We're not hunter gatherers anymore. We're just, I don't know, vending machine people,
Yeah, eaters.
eaters, and the foods are just packed a certain way to last on the shelves. And if we don't have an overarching strategy, we will decline quite quickly. So, who can benefit from redox signaling supplementation? Like, who?
Anybody that has cells, the reality is, I have 6 boys, and I tell you right now, I am absolutely committed to protecting my family. My children take this product, my parents take this product, I take this product, because whether I'm talking about the 8-year-old or my mum in her 70s, we are all experiencing the same toxic storm, and all our bodies are in a state of rusting, as you said, that oxidative stress and that degeneration. And I'm not looking to beat death, or to think about eternal, longevity. No, but I want to age well. And statistically, we won't. We need to take action and do something about it. So, what most excites me is that there are people now actively starting to focus on prevention. And however our health is right now is a result of what we did 5, 10 years ago. And how our health will be in 10 years' time is the result of what we're doing today. And the same goes whether you're a child, whether you're a 40-year-old or an 80-year-old. We have to take actions now, or really roll the dice and walk the freeway later on.
It's a really good analogy that you have, and I love it because I was working in a corporate environment a couple of years ago, and someone was talking to me, and they were surprised when they heard how old I was. And I said, "Well, look, you've got a choice. It's the decisions you make now that are going to determine how you are when you're my age." I said, "My father lived till 97. He was fourth in the world for swimming. He was active right up to the end. It was a fall that took him out, actually. So he would have actually cracked 100. And I, I looked at the populace, and I looked around in my own age, and I found, damn, there's not many people my age I can go and do the things I like doing because I'm fit and healthy. And I've I've had to do so much to get my health back on track. And now it's on track. I wouldn't give it up for anything because now I
Mm.
get to taste life at this level. And yeah, you're protecting yourself, your family, and if it's something good, you want the world to know. Like, for instance, there's sleep, hydration, nutrition, and exercise. But beyond that, what else is there that we're missing? Because, like, it's not just your friend. There are people that actually get under the radar where they're duped. They think they're healthy
Mm.
and they're doing all those things. And they say, I've got a reasonable amount of health, but I'm not sleeping. I'm not, I've got a skin disorder, and, I've got this aching pain here and there. And I realize, one of the things that I have a challenge with is my knees. There's a struggle there. So my goal is to have them right within a few years. And I'm taking all the action steps to do that. So for Redox is, what about people who are healthy? What's the benefit to them? They've somehow lived by a stream and done all the right things, got their homegrowns.
Well, I was going to say everybody has a grandma that chain smoked and lived till she was 96, but statistically that's an anomaly. The majority of us are exposed to cardiovascular disease, cancers, autoimmune, and you just have to look around. And if somebody is healthy, my message to them is this: I spend a lot of time, unfortunately, with terminally ill people. I have conversations when people are fighting against a diagnosis. I've done it already today. I had several conversations yesterday. We're talking stage 4, people who are desperate,
Mm.
trying to stay alive. And they would do anything to roll back the clock and be in your seat today if you're healthy, and take their health and protect it. Do not take it for granted. It's not a guarantee because you're healthy today, you'll be healthy tomorrow. If you're lucky enough to be healthy today, take the actions to stay that way. You know, we maintain our cars, we do maintenance on our house, and yet we just let our body, our temple, just go with the weeds. We really need to take it into our own hands. And I'd just like to make a point. You know, you really did mention some fantastic points about nutrition. And if somebody is living by a stream and eating well and taking magnesium and taking great supplements, they're still missing the signaling component. And that's why I'm passionate about redox. Redox is not a nutritional element. It's not a lipid. It's not a mineral, a vitamin. It's not an antioxidant. It is the communication system of our body. So you can take all the antioxidants you want, but nothing's going to happen in your body until your body activates them. And that's why we need that communication and those redox reactions. So even to people who are saying, well, yeah, I'm healthy, I take some supplements, I would encourage them to look at redox because it's quite likely a missing link in their health plan.
Yeah, I came across the Redox and the Renew 28 a long time ago, and I've been using the Renew 28 through a third party. I buy it. But what encouraged me when you introduced me to Bill and to join was to get a direct supply of the Redox, because I'd stop it, I'd take a bottle from a friend, and you know, now I can see that it's a very simple process. 60 ml in the morning, 60 ml at night. It's just water. It's salt water, and you just drink it. And it's different with some of the other supplements because are there any contraindications? You know, like for instance, for me, I find no side effect or ill effect, or I don't find anything that is going on in me that's perplexed. Whereas some of the supplements I've had to move on and try something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
No, there's no contraindications. And I just want to make a point there as well, because you do mention that the ingredients are salt and water. And I just like to stress that the product is not salt and water. Obviously, you can't just, I had someone ask me yesterday, so can I just mix this up in my kitchen? I wish. It took 17 years in a laboratory to figure out how to turn salt and water into redox molecules. It's quite a complex, very different process. And the product, of course, is certified redox. But as you said, it's just got a very mild saline taste. It's really quite simple and pleasant to take. Although people who are sick and have some level of illness usually report that it tastes worse for them. So, you know, but then the taste will stabilize. But there's no contraindications. And the reason is because the product is completely native to the body. So it's not natural or organic. It's beyond that. It's native. It belongs in your body. One of my kids summed it up beautifully when we were at the markets, and he saw a lady that was struggling to breathe, and he asked her, you know, what's wrong with you, as kids do? And she said, oh, I've got several tumors in my lung, and it stops me from breathing. And he said, oh, don't worry about that. There's something missing in your body, but my mum has some in a bottle. You know, it's really, you know, I can give this biochemical explanation, but the reality is that we have here something that is supposed to be in our body. So there's no contraindication.
no, that's cool, because you know, like all of these things, if you take every supplement on the market, you'll rattle, you know, like and you'll need a second mortgage to afford them all. So for me, I've had to be very selective what I invest in as far as time, convenience, and doability. You know, like sometimes with these supplements, you're spending a lot of time mixing them up, and yeah, I'm pretty careful with what I take. But look, this is fantastic stuff. How do people find out more about Redox? You know, because obviously there are people out there who will just take it at face value and say, yeah, it's great, I'll get some Redox. And there are other people like you and me that want to research this stuff and understand it and say, well, now I have the science behind it. So how do people find out more about Redox?
So I definitely encourage people to do their research because the research is there. So Asea, the company, they took this technology to a pharmaceutical. In fact, it's one of the ones that everybody knows about now. And that company said, we love it, but we'd like to buy it as long as we can bury it. You know, in other words, they said, we'd like to buy the technology. In fact, we'd like to pay you not to distribute it. So no more information, clinical trials to stop, everything to shut down. And so our company decided to obviously say no to that offer, and we've gone to market via direct distributor. So what that means is that you just need to find somebody who is a direct distributor. And Freddie, I'm assuming that you can probably help people access that either through Bill or through yourself. And then the way you purchase it is online, and you directly purchase it from the company. We have 17 different distribution centers. I know you can get this on eBay and Amazon, and I just want to preface it that we have problems with that because you don't know if that box of product has sat in the sun, you don't know if it's expired, and you don't have anybody teaching you how to use it, what dose to use. So you really need to find someone who's a distributor who can help you and support you and give you that quality control. You know, I'm happy to risk buying a t-shirt on eBay, but I'm not buying a health product. That I have no contact with the company who manufactures. I'm not going to buy it off Johnny on the net, you know.
Yeah,
So
that's cool. Yeah.
yeah, so find a distributor. I'm assuming you'll put some links down below, and then those people can send you reading material, video material, and request what your area of interest in. If somebody's an athlete, we've got information for athletes. If somebody is interested in general health, then we've got information for them. If someone's a health practitioner, we have more detailed information for them.
Yeah, I have a whole plethora and range of audience, so I guess people coming from different angles. We will actually include your links down below so that people can be in touch and find out more.
Sure.
Cristina, I understand you're on a tight time schedule, so I'm going to respect that. Thank you so much for this precious time. So we have a lot more coming up. Thank you for coming on the show, and don't forget to ring the bell and subscribe, and we'll see more of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, and I look forward to hearing from people who want to find out more. Thanks, Freddie. Thank you so much.